Florian, so great to talk to you. Thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to talk to us today. Firstly, I wanted to talk a little bit about the experience you've gained this season by playing in some of the WST events over in the UK. You played in the Pro Series, which you managed to have 7 matches, which is obviously good, great experience building for you. And also you played in the German Masters qualifiers. I know you had a really close game there with Robbie Williams, ended up losing 5-4. What has it been like for you this season? How much do you think you've learned?
Yeah, I think it was great, to get so many opportunities. I'm really grateful in the first place, but I wasn't really satisfied with my performance or with my results, because I only managed to get only 1 win out of that, which is not really my expectation. But I've learned a lot from that experience. I think it made me a better player, and I learned a lot mentally as well, because it's a really a different world to the amateur level. So I really took out of that much, and I think I'm looking forward to the upcoming tournaments, because I think I'm a better player now.
Is it hard playing perhaps in different conditions where you are in Austria, coming over to the UK and playing on? Do the tables play differently? Does that make a big difference?
Yeah, it did. I've learned a lot from that perspective, because I'm trying to replicate the conditions at my home where I'm practicing, but it's always a little bit different. But I've had a few experiences now on tour which helped, and now I'm finding it easier to adapt to the conditions over there.
I mean, how old are you? 18, 19?
19 now, yeah.
Yeah, so at your age, you've had a huge amount of experience. I know you played in the World Cup for Austria over in China, and played as an amateur in some big events. Do you feel that's all been part of a learning experience?
Yeah, absolutely. To get so many opportunities at my age is brilliant, because obviously my goal is to be one day at the World be a part of that World Snooker Tour, and having some great results. So to have that so much experience at my age really helps, and I hope I can build on that now.
And looking ahead, you're going to be playing in the Betfred World Championship qualifiers for the 3rd year in a row this time, in the beginning of April. As we talk now, we don't know who you've drawn, but how much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, very much. It's a great opportunity. I think it's the most popular tournament in snooker, so everyone is looking forward to that. So am I, and I hope I do great in that tournament, as I hope I do well in every tournament I play in. But I'm really looking forward to that.
And I know you had an injury to your foot recently, which maybe set you back a little bit in terms of your practice routine. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, it wasn't great, obviously, but it took me much more time than I expected from my injury. I couldn't practice for about 2 months, which wasn't great. It was a huge disappointment during that time, but I think I learned from that, coming back stronger from it. I took a lot of motivation out of it, and the practice obviously wasn't there, but as I said, motivation after that was even higher.
How did the injury happen?
Yeah, so it was a really complicated injury on my big toe, on my right big toe. The toenail grown into the skin, and it was infected, and so I had to make an operational surgery for that, and it took me about 2 months to recover from it. So it had to be done, otherwise I would have played with pain, and it wouldn't be great. So yeah, it had to be done.
Sure. Okay, good. Well, it's good to hear you're on the mend now. Obviously, snooker isn't a sport people normally associate with getting injuries, but this type of thing can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
So just I wanted to track back a little bit to when you first started playing snooker, because I think you started playing at the age of 5. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
How did you get into it in the first place?
Yeah, I saw it on Eurosport in television. I find it very interesting and try to imitate it on the floor, without even a table or anything, just the movement the players were doing. And then at the age of 5, I made my first attempts at playing it at the club. And I loved it from the first minute. So I kind of stuck to it. I took it as a hobby at the first place because I was trying to get a football player at the first place. I played loads of sports. I loved everything, kind of involving a ball. But in the end, my decision was to try and get a professional snooker player because I saw I had much talent, and I thought I could do it, and I was trying to work hard, and getting so much results and so much achievements and success at my age. What I did really helped along the way.
Yeah, and I guess as you said, it's on Eurosport, but we haven't had many very successful players from Austria over the years. And I think you've won the Austrian national championship 4 times, even though you're still only 19. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the last 4 years.
Yeah, amazing achievement. But has that meant that maybe you don't have the level of practice partners to be able to develop your game playing domestically?
Yeah, that's correct. There's a few players that are not too bad, but I'm always looking for better players because you try to learn of them, which is difficult to find in Austria, and even around my area. If you look at around other countries, it's difficult to find them. So yeah, the development in my game, everything I learned from myself, and I had to work hard on myself. But it would have been great to have at least 1 or 2 players to push me, but maybe push each other up to that level. But obviously it wasn't there, so I'm looking always to try and travel to the UK as much as possible and get some match practice.
And if you eventually turn pro, which is obviously your ambition in the short term, would you intend to come over and live in the UK and perhaps practice with better?
I don't know if it will happen to ever going to the UK full time, but obviously it has to be, at least some time, spending over there, getting some practice. So I don't know, living full time in the UK is ever going to be my goal or whatever. I will see that when I will turn pro. But I will spend a good time over there. Yeah.
And away from snooker, are you still in education?
Yeah, I'm in school. It was always difficult for me to manage those 2 things together because snooker takes so much time for practice as well. And obviously that's my ambition, to get to the World Snooker Tour and do that as my job. But I'm in school as well, looking for a plan B, obviously, but it's tough to manage.
What are you studying in school?
Just getting my A levels and working on a plan B, obviously.
Great, that's good to hear. And just turning back to snooker, when you first started playing and watching snooker, who are your heroes? Who do you most kind of look up to in the snooker world?
Obviously, Ronnie Sullivan is. I saw him first on television. Stephen Hendry and Steve Davis were a little bit, earlier, so I couldn't see them really on television. So, Ronnie Sullivan was really the first one, and at that time, the only one really I looked up to, and was kind of my ultimate hero. And I tried to imitate him, what he was doing, and what I could learn of him. So I think in that regard, I have to say, Ronnie Sullivan helped me along my way.
Yeah, and how would you describe your own game? Are you quite an attacking player, a break builder?
Yeah, I would say so. I think, at my age, the game is, more attacking, and you have to play like that if you want to win anything on the Pro Tour, I think. So I would say I'm quite an attacking player, but I think one of my strengths is also my safety play. I'm quite good at that, but that doesn't win you anything. You have to be good at break building and scoring well. But I think one of my strengths is definitely safety play as well.
And what do you work on in your game? Do you work with I think you've worked with PJ Nolan in the past. Are you still working with a coach? You know, are there particular areas of your game you feel you need to improve?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're always looking for something to improve. As you know, even the world number one, Trump, or those type of players are always looking for improvements, and there is always an improvement, I'm sure. But at the moment, PJ Nolan has helped me massive on my way. At the moment, I'm working at an all-round game, looking at every part of the game, safety play, match play, break billing, everything, because, I think in every department there's a lot of improvement still, and I'm trying to find a way to get to the top.
And finally, what's your ultimate ambition in snooker?
Yeah, obviously, first off, turning pro and, possibly making that of my living. And then if I manage that, the ultimate dream would be, being a world champion and a world number one, obviously, because, everything else would be crazy to say, because if you take that as a job or anything, you're trying to be the best. So yeah, that's the goal.
Great. Well, we wish you all the best, Florian. It's great to see more and more players coming through from continental Europe, which we've really seen in recent years. And we would absolutely love to have a successful player from Austria on the Pro Tour. So all the very best for the future, and particularly good luck in the Betfair World Championship qualifiers.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that.